know Chewbacca wasn't real, right?
That's what I'm saying.
What?
Yeah.
So welcome to the show, and here's your hosts.
All right, and good morning. Welcome to BCB Live. You have Sir Rick Drive Safe, the producer, 56 days of driving safe, 13 days of getting out and look. The streaks continue, and that's, again, we're going to say it every day. We love to see these streaks increase. It's amazing what you're doing. We're on the verge of a DOT road check as well, right, coming up. So what you're doing right now is especially important. There's a lot of eyes on you. Make today the safest day ever. Drive safe, Dave. Top of the morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir. It is Drive Safe Awareness Week. It is Safe Driver Week. They are out there in force this week, so let's do what we got to do. Make sure.
I like your little wave in your hair right now. You know what? I almost feel like I'm at the ocean. I bet I could surf on that hair right now. Like
it's a new look. It's a I don't know what it is. Don't get me
it's a
started.
Surf look. I like it. It looks good.
I don't know what it is.
It makes me think. Give the ocean producer top of the morning to you.
How's it going, guys?
You know
everything well out here?
I think it's going well. Hey, did you see our folks at Volvo?
Yeah, I mean, there are so many nuances to this story. It's pretty amazing.
So strike three, you're out, right? So they've gone back 3 times.
Right.
The last ones fell. 40% of the people agreed. They liked the pay package. They liked everything, but it takes a majority.
Correct.
And bam, they're back on strike. Volvo says what, Drive Safe?
But cross the picket. You're welcome to cross the picket line.
Come on. Yes.
Come on. And we will give you the terms immediately starting. New wages, new benefits. We will immediately cross the picket line. Let's get the plant back up and running. And this right here could definitely break the strike.
Yeah, so it'll break a lot, right? I mean, it's gonna break some friendships. You know, we haven't seen something like this in a while. I don't think.
You know what?
This is kind of old school here.
This is.
But we've got to get going in. And you know what? Drive Safe as a company here. So we talk about BCB Transport, the trucking company. We've got 85 Volvos on order that we can't get.
Correct.
And you know what, Drive Safe? I'm pissed. I am. There's nothing funny about this right now.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, Volvo. We've got drivers that are waiting on this.
Yep.
Y'all figure your mess out, because right now, Drive Safe, I feel like if they are the safest truck is what they say. Well, you know what? Then produce me a safer truck right now, because I've got trucks out there that I need to get off the road.
Correct.
You've got better technology. You got all this safe things. Hey, guess what? It doesn't do any of us any good right now if my drivers can't do it. And when we talk about protecting life, Drive Safe, Dave, we've got to have the equipment here going. Hey, Volvo, you figure it out, because companies like us, we need your equipment. We've ordered it last year.
Yeah, you're not benefiting anybody right now. I mean, to what extent? I think the only hang up that I saw in print was the term of the agreement, the length of term of the agreement. I mean, I can't understand why you wouldn't want to get back to work. I can't understand why you wouldn't put this production back here. All you're doing is hurting Volvo. I mean, it makes us reconsider next time, right? Doesn't it?
It's making us reconsider this time. Making us reconsider this time. I'm telling you, it's massive to a company like us. When you order and replace 85 units, you expect to have those units here.
We should have had half of them on the road.
And think about that. I've got drivers that are driving trucks that they thought they would have new ones in right now. They're driving with less fuel economy. So for us as a company, we lose out on that.
Yep.
We lose out on driver retention. We lose out on all these safety benefits that this truck has that we can't get.
Nope.
We made commitments to turn trucks in. We made commitments to get rid of trucks. And now we don't have trucks coming in, Drive Safe. Boy, it's hey, Volvo, figure it out. You're hurting your customer. You're hurting us. You're hurting small America. You're hurting our drivers. You're hurting other just drivers on the road in cars, because we're not driving the safest equipment. We need the safe equipment. Hey, figure your problem out. Don't let it affect us. Drive Safe. Do you see the new ethical Coke going around there? It's called Woke Coke. Woke Coke.
What is it? I don't even understand this premise that cocaine dealers are outsourcing.
Listen, it's ethically sourced.
What do they
it makes you feel good to do coke right now.
What is
it's
it
ethically sourced.
They what do they do? Recycle their bullets? What is it they're doing?
They say right here, here's what when they advertise for, and I guess there's some kind of advertisement for this. It's environmentally It's environmentally friendly sniff. That's their gimmick right now.
does that
it's an
mean?
environmentally friendly sniff.
Okay, I don't even understand it. So the drug lords in Colombia have a different division that are the kinder, friendlier drug lords.
It's
They say please and thank you, not use a 9mm in your face.
Producer, what do you say?
I was just gonna say, it's non-GMO. You can find it at Trader Joe's now. They'll have your ethically sourced Coke there.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. You know what is this world? You know what? First, you have the Russians, right? They're going to hack your stuff, take your stuff, hold it for ransom, but they're going to give 10% of it to charity. They're not really. And now you got the Coke. The guys that are producing this Coke say the same thing.
Then why
We've
take
got
them
to
to
get
jail?
more ethical in our business.
Yeah. Why take them to jail? You just got friendly people. I mean, just smiles.
It's unbelievable. Hey, some good news though. Did you see the church? I'm Church of Christ.
Episcopal.
Episcopal.
Yes.
I'm Church of Christ. We struggle saying other church names. Baptist,
Yeah.
Episcopal church that paid off $1.4 million of hospital bills out in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Yeah, that's amazing. I read this story, and pretty incredible the amount of charity of working up. And when you say 1.4 million, what they did was they lowered the cost, and they bargained the actual cost of the bill so that they could buy it at a lower rate, and then send a letter to the person, the debtor, to them, the dettee, and then said, hey, you're washed clean.
782 households that they
Wow.
paid their bills off.
That's amazing.
It's absolutely amazing on that. And the notes say, hey, St. Bede's, I think, BD's or Episcopal Church has paid off medical debt you have been struggling with over the past number of years. No strings attached.
Nice. Very nice.
Wow.
And they
That's
partnered
what
with.
it's about right there.
It's awesome. I think it was most of the states' medical debt actually is what they ended up paying off, and they're actually partnering with an organization that does the same thing called RIP Medical Debt, and it was actually formed by
That's
two
actually
former.
a big corporate. That's actually a big.
Yeah,
company,
they're
that
big
RIP.
now. Yeah, they formed by two former debt collectors, and in 2020 they actually abolished $1.7 billion in debt
That's
for
amazing.
830,000 people.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so good stuff. Hey, let's look real quick. It's important that we see what's going on with the volume right now. Hey, we're coming off a holiday, so remember the holiday week, it's always when it starts on a Monday, Drive Safe, what happens? Yeah, it's just down. It's flat.
And it takes a while.
us a while to get
a
going
week.
again. So here it is now. We're at Tuesday. So what happened yesterday? Volume shot back up to 15,828. And again, we look at this right here. We're back to where we were end of quarter. That quick. Now, in years past, we went up to, let's not look at the orange. That's last year. In the years past, we went to 10,002, 10,004. Drive Safe Day. We're over 5,400 shipments a day going out right now.
It is still remarkable numbers.
It's very, it's crazy
it
high
is
right
crazy.
now.
It's still crazy.
A lot of freight going on. We still have a lot of delays going on. Short term now, what's going to happen, I'll just tell you, short term shippers are going to get a little reprieve from pricing because remember, one thing we at trucking companies are, man, we are so bad at staying on top of our data. We love Sonar because it gives us good, solid data to focus on this. And when I look at that, what I'm going to tell you right now is you look at the rejection rate, we're down at 22.76. And I'm going to see if I can get rid of this right here. 22.76. Anyway, we look right here. We're as low as we've been since February on the rejection freight. So a lot of freight. Remember, we're at the very high side of freight, yet rejections are back down to 20. Still very, 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 very high rejection rates going on. But what we as trucking companies do, remember, last week was slow. So right now, we're saying we'll take it all.
Whoa.
Yeah, spot freight goes down a little bit. And then about Wednesday or Thursday of this week, we realized, all right, hold on a second.
We can't cover all
We
of it.
can't pick everything up. We're over capacity. Stop taking freight. So it starts back that way.
Yeah.
It is crazy what we see in our industry, but that's what will probably happen. It happens all the time. Freight's high. Rejections are low. It's not going to take long before somebody comes in and says, hey, listen, that load was supposed to pick up 3 days ago, still hadn't picked up. How are we going to pick this freight? Hey, why are you taking all this freight? Well, because last week we said, take everything. We need more freight.
Yeah, man, don't be scared. Don't be scared. And now the guys are coming in, the planning group's coming in going, whoa.
Exactly.
Whoa, time out.
Exactly.
I have 800 uncovered loads.
No, it's and that happens all the time.
Everyone does
Every holiday we see it. Hey, listen, if you're not, one thing we love here is taking advantage of that data we get off Freightways, because it does help us kind of project a little bit, what we're looking at. What should we do as a company? We try to stay on top of that, our CSRs, our operations, because in our industry, Drive Safe, let's face it, things change every day.
Yeah, it's a new market every day.
Every single day. So you have to just use the best information you possibly can. I know we got Phrase That Pays coming up. Before we do that, electric planes going on with United and Mesa Airlines. What are you thinking about that?
I don't know, but that looks like a 737, but I don't know.
That's not electric.
That's not electric. That looks like a 737.
So listen, so they have some electric planes. The Mesa Airlines and United are going to order 100 each. These things go like 250 miles. Is
They're
that
prop
right?
planes, right? They're prop planes.
250 miles is their radius or their hours.
American Eagle.
Here's my thing. I mean, do they get some kind of priority when the planes are going over?
They serve woke coat. What is it? It's environmentally friendly, but I do think they are puddle jumpers. I think they're right. They're going to be puddle jumpers.
They are puddle, 250 miles here to Houston, San Antonio, that kind of trip right there. But all I'm saying is that when you get into a flight pattern, if the weather gets bad, hey, prioritize me, folks. Listen,
batteries are low.
Batteries are low. Make a decision quick. Yeah. We don't have many hours up here.
No recharging station. No recharging station.
That's where you got to, what? When you board that plane, producer, I guarantee you're going to be looking where those parachutes are a little bit quicker. What do I have underneath the seat?
Yeah.
All of these things. You will focus a little more. I'm a little nervous for the electric plane.
But
electric car's one thing.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? They can always call everybody in the cabin and say, hey, everybody put their charger, plug it, and reverse charge. Put a reverse charge. Everybody else carry a little battery pack. You can keep the plane going a little longer.
Technology, it really is. It's amazing. Now they're going to order. They still have to measure up to the specs. The plane still has to really go for 260 miles or hours for that, right?
And longer. It still has to. You can't just say, hey, there has to be a circling time. I mean, they got to do what they can. They said if it meets the requirements. I think they said they got ordered 100.
Yeah, and it's really not even supposed to be put into service until 2026. So they have some years to really develop this technology. I think it'll be fine by then. I think at that point,
so
there will be enough
just go ahead and
research.
say BCB is ordering 150 electric trucks, and we'll have them in place by 2100. By 2099. Is that really news? That's a long ways away. Are we that desperate for carbon?
Okay, but if United or if American or somebody.
Whoa! Are you putting some blame on BCB? You're saying their word's stronger than BCB?
I don't know. I'm just looking at market share. That's all I'm looking at.
Hey, listen, our Phrase That Pays today. Hey, Drive Safe, I want you to read that real quick.
Situational awareness is key in order to be accident-free.
One more time, sir.
Situational awareness is key in order to be accident-free.
So, there's another news story that we want to kind of lead into before Dale hops in here, and it really does touch a little bit onto your situational awareness, is that this week, we're also going to have some ghost trucks going on out there in Indiana.
Oh, yeah. They're going to have the
ghost trucks.
Safe Driver Week. They're going to be out seeing from your vantage point what you see every day, other drivers, other people doing things wrong from the truck perspective, right? So crowding in, cutting in front, getting it, they're going to be running in traffic. They're going to be doing things that make it look like that they're a normal truck, and they're going to zap them when they do something wrong.
And it will be just a normal truck. There's going to be more this year than ever as they're looking for distracted drivers. They're looking for unsafe actions. They're looking for aggressive drivers. And we're not just talking trucking. We're talking the cars. Those cars that are cutting off the trucks.
And
they have a hand-free policy there as well. So they're going to be busting the truck drivers, the automobiles that are on their cell phone. Drive Safe, Dave. Let me tell you something. I want to see the results of that.
Yeah.
Because you still see it all over the place. People are texting, they're on their phone, all over the place. I mean, they're going to see they're going to see a lot of solid information that we can make better changes for, I hope.
Right. You know, and a lot of people don't realize, the truck drivers do, but a lot of people don't realize what vantage point you do have in a truck. You can see a whole lot going on. You can see in the four-wheelers a whole lot better. You can see down into cars. You can see other truck drivers. You can see a little bit more. So you have a better vantage point, and it actually gives them an opportunity to see from our perspective what it really going on out there on the road.
Yeah, so kudos to the Highway Patrol, to those folks out there in Indiana. Great job on being on looking out there and looking for things to hit. You're right, Drive Safe. We're looking for issues that we're going to address today, giving out tickets, looking out for them cars, looking out for those truck drivers that don't have that BCB mindset as well.
Right, that's
the
right.
be safes, the communications, and if you can, be on time.
Rapid fire. Today we've got DJ. So here we go. Talk or text?
Text.
At what age do you want to retire?
Now. I'm just kidding.
I like it. Do you snore?
Yes.
Do you believe in fate?
No.
What's for dinner tonight?
Pizza.
That sounds good. How many times did you sneeze in the last 7 days?
1.
What's your favorite carnival food?
20 dogs.
And have you ever seen a kangaroo in person?
No.
Thank you for joining us.
All right, and welcome back, everybody. We are back to BCB Live. As always, we are progressing toward our safety part of the program, and we have Dale in the studio. What's going on, Dale?
Hey, good morning, Dave. Notice how I let you do the intro?
I know. You know what? I stamped on you. I stomped on you yesterday. I wanted to make sure that we were following what the program allows, and that is for me to do the introduction. I wanted to give you the big,
I get that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot, Drive Safe.
What do you got today?
What's going? Today's topic is, let's streak. Guys already talked about a little bit, but we're at 56 days preventable accident-free streak. Our get out and look streak is at 13 days. Lucky 13. You know what? We're getting closer to that record at 68 days. It's 1 day at a time, one hour at a time, one backup at a time. We just have to make sure we're getting out and looking, taking our time. Don't get in a hurry. Patience is a virtue. You guys alluded to it when in the first segment about Operation Safe Driver Week. It's taking place this week, and I think that's great what Indiana is doing, and I think those guys, maybe they will be, maybe they won't be once they get in the big truck and see what really is going on in a lot of the four-wheelers and stuff. I think they have a pretty good idea already. This will just verify what they're saying. But today's topic is seatbelts. You want to talk about being one of the safest fleets in the country and being safe. Seatbelt usage has increased to the point of 90%, which is good. But that means 10% of drivers out there probably still are not wearing it. It's the law, guys. Wear the seatbelt. It's a passive thing. All you got to do is put it on, and you have automatically become safer by putting a seatbelt on. Because in the case of an accident, it holds you in place, gives you that ability to stay in control of the truck a lot longer, stay in front of the steering wheel. So wear your seatbelt. One, it's company policy. One, it's the law. Two, it's company policy. And in big trucks as well as in cars, passengers are to be restrained. If you have a passenger and they are in the passenger seat, it is the regulation that they are to be seat belted in. So that's all good stuff. Look at CSA scores. Last 24 months, we have 2 seatbelt violations. Good news is it's been quite a while. It was September of last year, September 20, that we had our last seatbelt violation. Nice job, guys. That means we're wearing them and we're looking, because that is, if you don't have a seatbelt on, how easy is it for a trooper to look at you and say, seatbelt isn't on? You just gave him a reason to pull you over and dig deeper. So if you have that seatbelt on, that's one thing. They can't pull you over for having it on. So that's just one of those safe operation things. Other thing about wearing a seatbelt, we talk about being one of the safest trucking companies in the country. Lead by example. Wear that seatbelt. Show other drivers that. Show other trucking companies. Show other four-wheelers that you care. You care enough to wear that seatbelt. So that's what we got going on with that.
Not only is it the law, but it's the right thing to do. I mean, we want you to be safe. We want you to be protected. We don't want you hurt. And the best way for you not to get hurt in that truck, if ever you were involved in an accident, is by wearing your seatbelt. That simple act alone will keep you safe, will keep you protected in so much ways that you can't imagine. Plus, believe it or not, that seatbelt keeps you in that chair so that you can continue to control the vehicle even if there is a massive collision or something happens. I'm just saying you can be thrown from the chair if you don't have your seatbelt on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is, like I said, it's such a passive thing. You put that in there. Plus, it becomes a mindset. I mean, you always feel you buckle up. That's that first step, one of the first steps for a safety thing. You know, you're getting in your truck, you're ready to take off. I got that seatbelt on. Now I feel just a little bit safer. So hopefully that transcends to your whole mindset. You know, well, let's be safe today. Let's be the safest person, safest driver out there that we can today.
Absolutely. I mean, you wouldn't put a small child in a car without buckling them in. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't put them in. You would put them in. You wouldn't put a baby. You'd put a baby in a baby in a carrier, right?
That's right.
So you would do all these things to protect them. Why don't you? You should do the same to protect yourself.
Absolutely.
I mean, you are just as important to us as anybody, if not more so. So do what you can to protect yourself, and that's clicking it is definitely the way to save yourself.
There you go. There you go. Hey, let's take a look at some weather. Not too windy a day. So if I put wind gust in here, it's still not too windy a day. Let's move it up to Dave. I appreciate the assist there.
I'm trying to help you out. I feel
know.
like
I mean,
I want to be part of the program.
There you go. You introduce. You get the introduction.
I kind of want to be part.
And then when I get to the weather, you make sure that I'm on the right part of the map. Dude, you're okay. So Tuesday, 6 p.m. by this evening, you know, of course, windstorms pick up a little bit. Or wind picks up late afternoon into the early evening. That's when we see more thunderstorms develop and dissipate. And so as we look at winds, you know, we look at winds at 6 p.m. tonight, you know, there's some pretty strong areas where the wind is blowing out in the...
There's Wyoming's a shocker.
Yep, there you go.
That's a shock. That's a shocker.
Day after day, it's windy in Wyoming. So there you go. Not a lot else going on with that. But
it looks good, actually.
If we go to rain and thunder, thunderstorms. Okay, so here's where, let's back it up a little bit to where we're current. You know, if we look at it right now, Tuesday, 8 a.m., there's not a whole lot going on. We have some down in Louisiana and on the border of Mississippi by Jackson, and a little bit up through, I think that'd probably be the Ohio Valley, but not a lot going on this morning as we currently look at it. I think when we get into the afternoon, we're going to see that it starts to change a little bit. Let's go to 3 o'clock this afternoon, 4 o'clock this afternoon. Now we're seeing a whole lot more action. Like I said, that late afternoon storms pop up, and then they dissipate into the early evening. But we got a lot going on out in Arizona, southern Utah, Colorado, and then the storm that we were talking about a little bit earlier, I mentioned, you know, Louisiana and the Mississippi. It's kind of just exploded all the way up the Ohio, Tennessee Valley, all the way from the Gulf Coast, all the way up through Pennsylvania into New York. So be aware of that out there. I know localized heavy rains. There'll be some tornadoes with it. And if we see a lot of localized heavy rains, always be aware of the flooding. Let's take a look at what happens overnight. If we go to midnight about, so by midnight, you know, everything, I shouldn't say everything, but it dies down considerably. But the one that does pick up, if you're in the upper Midwest in South Dakota, out in western or eastern Wyoming, northern Nebraska, you know, there's a pretty good swell and storm going on out there, you know, and that's around midnight. By 6 a.m., okay, by 5 a.m., that storm up in South Dakota seems to get a little more intense. Covers a pretty good section of, and that should be pretty close to I-90 the way it looks. So if you're up in South Dakota tomorrow morning, this afternoon, this evening, tomorrow morning, be aware of the strong thunderstorms going on up there. Otherwise, 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, everything else is pretty quiet. Let's look at some videos. Okay, I'm going to just say it first. You know, it's raining pretty hard. Speed limit 70, we're going 72 miles an hour. We're going too fast for conditions. You know, whether you get pulled over or not, or, you know, for something else, they can say, well, I was going the speed limit. They can also write a ticket for going too fast for conditions. And this kind of heavy rain, 72 miles an hour in a 70-mile-an-hour zone, we're just going too fast. We need to slow down. We need to be aware of situational awareness. We got heavy rain, we got lots of water, lots of wind spray coming off trucks. A couple of these trucks, I think, have their four-way flashers on, usually an indication that, you know, it is a heavy storm. It's raining too much. Please, people, slow down, adjust your speed to the conditions around you. That's situational awareness.
Yeah, it actually looks like both of those trucks have their four-way flashers on and are slowing the speed down. I think if you have two big rigs flashing their lights like that, I think it's probably a good sign that the conditions are getting pretty rough out there.
Yeah, absolutely, Dylan. When I first saw this, I got a little nervous because I thought maybe that first truck has a signal on to pull over. You know, here we come, you know, coming along a pretty good clip. And, you know, really can't see the truck ahead of this one because of the rain and stuff. If he'd, you know, decide to pull over right now, bad things happen in a hurry. Slow down in the rain, please.
I will tell you, and what concerns me is that we remember when we're doing this, these trucks are governed at 72 on the cruise and not on the pedal. So that might tend for me to believe that we're still in cruise mode in heavy rain. And I just want to remind everybody that when you enter into these wet and difficult situations, you need to get off of the cruise control. You need to be on the pedal. You don't want to run cruise in inclement weather, in no inclement weather, whether it be rain, whether it be snow, whether it be any type of inclement weather. That cruise control is for open road, dry, and perfect weather conditions, not these situations here. So it genuinely concerns me when I see somebody going well above 70 and not reducing speed but maintaining a constant speed. It worries me that we're in cruise control in these types of situations.
Excellent point, David. I'll also point out engine brakes, Jake brakes, the same thing. When weather conditions, road conditions have gotten slick or wet, turn those Jake and engine brakes off also. This one here, I mean, I just love the fact that we have the speed and space, that we're way, way back. Driver's got the big picture going on, sees what's happening and everything. And if we can watch right at the end of this video, that white car goes from lane 3 to the exit. If we're, you know, way up tight on that, don't have the room, guarantee you that the car's still going to go from lane 3 to the exit, but it's going to be right in front of us. So by having that speed and space, we're
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that's lane 1 over to lane 3.
By having the space, you know, that just allows that car, that four-wheeler, to do a crazy thing, to go all the way from the left-hand lane to that exit. So great job, driver, of staying back, seeing what's going on. Traffic does come to a stop or slows way down up there. So, I mean, just great situational awareness. What's going on? Just going to watch this one through and see where we're at. Like I said, you know, we do a nice job courtesy. We have good speed. We have good space. Allows for us when traffic comes to a massive slowdown to almost a stop. It allows our driver to, you know, control the vehicle, control the space in front of us, and, you know, nothing bad happens here. So great job. Again, day after day, guys, you do such a super job of doing a lot of things right.
You know, there's going to be moments when hard brake's required.
Yep.
There's going to be moments when you got to brake. You're on the freeway and you got to come to a stop.
Yeah, and this
mean, it takes a minute when you're running 80. I mean, it takes a little bit of pressure to get to a stop position, but does a great job of slowing down, sees the big picture, even realizes that needs to be in this lane for the turn coming up to make sure that they continue on 440 East, and pretty much does everything necessary. I like the stop. I like the distance between the car, and you can see concrete. Does a great job.
Absolutely, and it wasn't even a hard break. So I mean, just a wonderful example of one of the things, or a lot of the things that we do right. Good decisions. Okay, right at the beginning, we see the sign 25 miles an hour. It's a tight corner, This is a stability event. According to GPS, we're at 28, and our speed is climbing. Guys, we've got to slow down on these curves and these ramps. Those signs are there for a reason. Rule of thumb is trucks should be 5 to 10 under. That sign is perfect condition, four-wheeler. Please, 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 let's keep our speeds manageable and slow in these curves, especially when we see those type of signs. They're there for a reason. Drive Safe Dave loves to point out, They didn't put them there just because they felt like it. They put it there because something's bad has probably happened in the past. And so please watch your speeds on this type of ramp. This is a pretty tight corner when you follow it all the way through.
Hello, construction.
Yeah, stop and go traffic. But our driver's polite and courteous. He's staying back, patient. That four-wheeler feels the need to come jumping right over, but we have the space to allow for it. And our driver, we're managing our speed. We're staying back. We know that all kinds of crazy things are probably going to happen. We're anticipating. We're aware of the situation around us. We're keeping that space. We're managing it. We're owning it. And so when that four-wheeler jumps on over in front of us, we barely have to touch the brakes because we're already on it. We're aware of the situation.
Yeah, and I understand they rob you of your space. Recreate it.
Yep.
Make sure that you take the opportunity as quickly as possible to recreate that space, and it may get stolen again.
Yeah.
And you'll have to recreate it. It may get stolen again, and you'll have to recreate it. It may get stolen again. But remember, that's what we're out there to do, and we're out there to make sure that we're doing everything we can to be safe. So if you have to recreate it 10,000 times, then you save 10,000 lives. So just remember it that way.
There you go. There you go. Like I said, this is some stop and go traffic. Traffic is slowing down. We have pretty good space here. We're managing it. The thing I don't like, and I pointed out about this, Dave, you said a little bit earlier, we should see concrete between the car in front of you and your vehicle when you stop, okay? Need to stop a little bit further back. We talk about leave yourself an out. If this car stalls out or whatever, there's no way for you to get around it. We're just too close up in there. And we talk about objects appearing closer in the mirror than they are. Like I said, that person looking in his rear view mirrors thinks that you are right on top of him. So be polite, be courteous, but also do the right thing, the safe driving thing. Stay back a little bit when you come back. Stay back when you come to a stop. Leave the space so you can at least see the concrete in the vehicle in front of you.
Also, you create a bigger picture, a better view. Whenever you lean back, whenever you stay back, and unfortunately, we do that as truck drivers. We stay back further when there's a big truck in front of us because we can't see around them. So we stay further back so that we can see to the sides. But that same spacing that you would like, that you give to the big trucks, give also to the four-wheelers out there when you come behind them in that traffic. Because what's happening is you're just limiting they're seeing you full sight, but you want to make sure that you continue to get the big picture and create that habit, right? You have that habit when it's a big truck in front of you. You need to keep the same habit even when it's a four-wheeler in front of you as well when you do that stop in traffic.
Excellent point, Dave. Excellent point. Any callers this morning?
Nope, we're good. So,
good?
Oh, okay. What do you got, Dylan?
All right, we've got Alan Arnold on the line. What do you have for us, sir?
What's up, Alan?
Hey, good morning, Mr. Dave, Mr. Dell. Hey, question. On that stability video, what was hanging there in the vision of the driver? Did y'all see that?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'm not know if that's a note or a teacher's note or if it's a prescription. I'm not sure what it is. But these cameras, they it could be a postage stamp. If it's close enough, it looks like it's a billboard.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
But it's great.
Yeah, you got to kind of be mindful. I've actually gone out and looked at the camera and gone, well, there's something blocking the view. And I went outside and it was a pencil. It just depends on how close they are to the camera and how well they view. And I was like, there's a huge pipe in the way. I want to know what's in the way. Yeah, and it was a pencil because it was just that close. So,
but that's a great
Mr.
observation.
Dave, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Dell.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I said it's just a great observation to point out, that there is something up there potentially obstructing the driver's view. It's a great point. I appreciate you showing us that.
Hey, Mr. Dave, I wanted to also let you know.
Come on.
Hey, I screwed up, all right? And here's how I screwed up.
We all do.
I put after years of doing this, and but I'm going to get to a point here, all right? I put new steer tires on the truck, and I had it balanced. And, you know, I watched the guy to a certain point. I let it go because I figured he knew what he was doing. And the truck kept bouncing, and I'm like, man, what is going on? What's going on? And I kept racking my brain. And then I did a PM over the weekend. And I asked the guy, I said, hey, can you rebalance these tires for me, please? So we put it on the machine, and he's like, wow, this is crazy. So we get to looking. There was 24 ounces of weight on one, 16 ounces on the other. And what happened was the guy just never took any of the weights off of before. You know what I mean?
He just
So
left
my point is,
Yeah.
he left everything and he added more. And everybody just kept adding, okay? So my point is even though we've been doing this for a minute, all right, we've got a lot of new people in this industry working on our trucks. Don't be afraid to question them or say something, you know, because you know, I made the mistake of not doing it. And I just wanted to let you know that.
I appreciate it, Alan. And you know what? It's okay. I don't think you messed up. I think you did the right thing. I think you asked questions later and thought something was wrong and said something. And that's really the key. I mean, you can only fix what you can now. And I think you did a good job. I don't think you messed up. I think you were proactive in what transpired. I understand that you missed it on the beginning, but I'll tell you what, it takes a driver to understand, you know, that think, you know, when you think something's still wrong, you do something about it, and instead of just letting it go. Good job. I think you did a good job there.
Yeah, I think it's great that you ask questions. I mean, so many times we get afraid to ask questions or to challenge, not even challenge, but to try to understand. You know, so you get into roadside inspection and somebody points out, the trooper says, "Well, you got this wrong with you," and so many times we don't ask. Can you point it out? Can you show me what it is? Because when I take it in to get it fixed, I have to know where I'm talking or point it out. And so I don't think it's a bad thing to ask questions at all. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, and usually they do a pretty good job of pointing out when something's wrong. They do a pretty decent job of walking over and going, "It's that."
I'll tell you, Dave, you're right. Usually they do.
Usually they do, but there'll be times when they just write it up.
And the reason I bring that up is because we just had one. It was an air leak, and the troops, so I can hear it, but I can't show you where it's at. We take it a big drag, and they can't find it. I mean, we got a warning ticket for an air leak, and he couldn't point it out to our driver.
Yeah, and now we don't know where it's at.
Yeah. So ask those questions.
All right, Ricky Butterfield, I saw that you were on for a second here. I don't know if you wanted to hop on for a little bit. What do you got going on for us?
What's going on, Rick? All right, sometimes you just can't get on, right? Sometimes you can't make it. Anybody else got anything they'd like to ask while we're on, while we're here, and what we're doing is what we're doing. What we're doing is saving lives. If you have an opportunity, you want to save a life, jump in, and say something any and every time. All right, Dale, I guess they'll see you at 2:15, right?
Yeah, right around that point.
All right.
I look forward to it.
All right, good job. All right, hey.
Be safe out there. Appreciate all you do.
All right, with that, we'll go to ACHR.
Happy Tuesday, everyone. Wanted to remind our company drivers that if you were eligible for holiday pay for last week, that does not show up on your settlement sheet. So don't be looking for that. It won't show on there. It only shows in Paycom. So it will show on your pay stub on Friday, but it will not be on your settlement sheet. And today we have one birthday, and it is for Gerald Baker. Happy birthday, Gerald. Hope you have a really great day. Everyone, please continue being safe out there. Wear your mask, wash your hands, use that antibacterial. Have a good day.
As you can tell, we are in the studio with the Danger Raiders. Welcome to the studio. Hector, what's going on?
Good morning, Mr. Dover. I just didn't want to jump in on your introduction.
No,
I
don't.
I didn't want to get my throat
Nobody
jumped on.
touches it.
All right,
I mean,
so
I mean, but I want to make sure that you get I want to make sure that you get introduced. I want to make sure that you get all the accolades that you well deserve.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so very much for doing that. I just felt like, man, I felt bad for Dale. You just kind of the other day when
he crossed the line.
Okay.
I mean, come on.
He jumped over that line in the sand.
There are rules, and there are rules, and he's new, right?
Okay.
You know what? You got to make sure that the new guy knows what to do and how to do it. We want to make sure we know what's happening. So what do you got?
I kind of got the fear in me, so I'm stepping back and letting you take your show and run with it.
Hey, dude, I have boundaries. Okay, we all have boundaries. I'm just making sure I set my boundaries.
So
it's all about relationships, and I want to make sure that I set my. I read it in Cosmo. You have to set your boundaries.
I felt like you were making headway with your making friends and influencing people. So
well,
yeah.
I mean, seriously, we got to know. We have to know where we stand, right, with one another.
100%. Yeah, he knew. He knew to stand way back, way back. So good morning, everybody. Just so happy for our goals and our driving records. 56 days, 13 goal. We continue to move forward, and very proud of that. So last week we talked about taking some time off and getting some of that fatigue and rest out of the way. I did take 3 days off. Just to try to get myself back into the flow of things. You know what? It really didn't. I actually took a day off to try to figure out how I could do nothing, and it just didn't work out. I mean, there's always something to do, or always something to fix, or just it's
so
just
I agree with you 100%. I took Saturday and Sunday off and took my family to Enid, and I took 2 days off with my wife and my kids and took them up there, and we did some stuff. I was exhausted when I got back. Mm-hmm. There were babies running around, and I'm telling you, I was tired, and I was ready to come back to work.
Right. I hear you. So I had a lot of positive feedback. A couple of drivers called me and said, they understood exactly what we're talking about and how hard it was to get that rest at home, or how hard it was to get the rest on the highway. So I continue to tell you that fatigue is real, and if it's hitting you while you're on the road or when you're coming out of the house, just like I said, communicate with our drivers, with our driver managers. That way we can help you with whatever we need to. What I wanted to focus on today is, so on Thursday afternoon, I decided that I needed to lose some money, and I drove up to the casinos up in Oklahoma City, and I took 35W going north into Oklahoma. And, there's a lot of traffic between here and there. When you go right past 820 into Keller and all that mess, I mean, it's just a giant traffic jam. And, of course, when you get to the border, there's a lot of traffic. But what I wanted to talk about was courtesy. And I'm going to, I normally when I'm do something, I think about you guys, and I think about the things that I was doing when I was on the road. So I'm driving down, coming back from Oklahoma after I lost a couple of dollars. And I'm coming down 35 right there by Keller, and there's a driver with another trucking company. He's got his blinker on. He wanted to get into my lane. And of course, I was watching everybody as they were just zooming past this guy, and they wouldn't let him switch lanes. And I knew why he wanted to switch lanes, because he had a construction truck in front of him, and he wanted to get around him. And I understand that, because the construction truck was doing like 25 miles an hour. So, being who I am and what I wanted to do, I went ahead and slowed down, and I flashed the driver, and I let him get into my lane. I swear, the drivers behind me, I thought they were going to just basically lynch me right there on the highway, because they felt like I was doing something illegal. But I think what we need to understand is there are times for courtesy on the highway. And a lot of the people on the highway now, particularly the younger group, they don't understand what courtesy means. So, as a driver, you guys really, there's so many different things going on, especially on that highway. I saw a lot of our drivers coming down, and, a lot of them, we looked really good. Everybody was slow, had plenty of room in front of us, and a lot of people was cutting in front of them and taking their room. But I think from our standpoint, we need to continue to work to be as courteous as we can to other drivers, not just, four-wheelers behind. I did see one of our drivers do the same thing that I did, slow down and let somebody come into his lane, and help another driver get out of a situation that he needed to get into the left lane with. But I continue to tell you, You know, it's insane out there. I saw things that, you know, I hadn't seen in a long time, and you know, I only drove almost an hour and a half just to get back up there and get back down. So I continue to talk about courtesy with you guys because, you know, we need to show that courtesy to everybody else. Show that courtesy, and from a four-wheeler standpoint, me, you know, I try to do the same thing. I try to be as courteous as I can, not just to the driver, the truck driver, but also the four-wheelers. So, you know, I just want to expand on that and just let you know, hey, we need to try to be everything that we can possibly be, because not only do we want to be the safest company on the road, but we want to try to allow those other drivers to be just as safe as we are by giving them that room, by giving them that space, by giving them the opportunity to switch lanes and get into our lanes with us.
Yeah, you know, courtesy, and you bring up a great topic because it makes, there are a lot of times when there's not kindness on the road, but courtesy itself is basically not only it shows your attitude and your behavior of a politeness, right? Of an act of kindness. And I truly believe in forward acts of kindness. I truly believe they're contagious. I truly believe that they work, and I truly believe that they are important for us to do the right thing out there on the road. And courtesy it's not only is it just the way in which you, it's not only the way in which you do something on the road, it's in what you believe what you do on the road, right? If you truly believe in courtesy, it's also about your attitude that you take to inside the vehicle. Right. And if you believe in politeness and you believe in doing acts of kindness, and that attitude pervades into your behavior, that truly is what, to me, is what courtesy is about. It's about making sure that you're doing the stuff, and you know what, allowing that, because what's going to happen in that instance when you have that truck trying to move around, trying to get around, he's going to get frustrated, and he's going to take a chance to jump out there. Right. And it happens time and time again by what you did, by holding the traffic back and allowing him to pass. You alleviate that huge monster truck taking a chance and moving around safely and creating a better environment for everybody else out there on the road. And you don't have this huge chain up that keep, you know, because as we drive, we all realize there's these pockets of congestion on the freeway. You have these open road moments, and then you have these pockets of congestion where slower traffic meets faster traffic, right? And you, as you went up there, you'll probably encounter, if it's not just all pockets of congestion, but there are moments you get around a slower vehicle, and there's an open moment until you get to another slower vehicle. But what I do like about talking about courtesy is that opportunity where you make sure that not only are you doing what's professional out there, but you're doing just a little bit more. Because I truly believe that's what kindness is. It's just a little bit more of doing for others. And I truly believe that. I mean, I think it's a great topic. You know, we could talk about any specific act of kindness, but I truly believe that courtesy starts with attitude.
You're exactly correct. And I think that, you know, once we have that mindset of being courteous, and because we are looking out for everybody else, we are looking out for those people that are going to be unsafe. We are looking out for those drivers that do want to do the safe thing. And I think by our drivers taking that extra, just however long it takes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it takes, and yeah, it's going to slow you down, but that's our motto here anyway. We need to slow down and do the right thing. And it all begins with just your just like you said, our mindset on being courteous. Because once we set our mind that we're going to be safe, the rest falls into place. Courtesy, you know, what you're going to do next, the big picture, all the safety parts that you put in front of you every day. Once you start with that great mindset that you're going to be safe and do the right thing, not just for yourself, but for the other drivers on the road, I think that makes it a lot easier for us to make the right decision when we're going down the road.
Yeah, and I do believe it to be contagious. So for example, and I know everybody knows what I'm talking about. If there is a car on the side of the road that is pulled over and is either distressed or broke down or what have you, and if you pull away and move over into the lane, right, the hammer lane, and move away from it, it tends to, as you can see, that deal tends to pervade behind that car. People continue, they do that. Now, not everyone will do it, but that starting of that act of kindness, of giving that room, because you don't want to blow by a car with somebody out there changing a tire or working on it. It's just, to me, it's just stressful for the guy, changing the tire. But that moment, and I have seen that take place. I've seen people go by, and then I see a car or somebody move over out of the way, and then everyone else behind it starts to do the same thing because they see, oh, yeah, I get what they're doing. I want to do the same. And I think these acts of kindness, they actually pay forward. They are contagious. And I get that they may have been angry with you, and they may have not. But those moments are people that don't get the big picture anyway. I truly believe that the majority of the people that you encounter out there on the road understand courtesy and understand kindness and get it. I do. I think the majority do. It doesn't take very many bad apples to spoil the whole bunch.
100%.
Right? 100%. It doesn't take that many. It only takes one or two, and then those moments, and then you think everybody's a jerk, right?
Well, and using that same analogy, if you set the example, people will more than likely follow your example.
Absolutely.
So just, and like I said, what I did was just help a driver out to get out of a situation where I'm pretty sure he thought he was in an unsafe situation, or he thought he could help out a little bit more by getting out of that guy's way, maybe getting around that construction truck. But if we're setting the example, and when we should be, every day our drivers are setting the example by slowing down, by giving the room to other drivers, by doing the right thing. We are setting the example not just for four-wheelers, but for other trucking companies, other truckers that are like, well, why is that guy doing that? Oh, okay, I can see he's trying to give that guy room. He's trying to be safe. So we have to set the example, and I think we do every day by our thoughts and our processes and what we do here, and the conversation that not just emulates from the top down, but into our drivers. And I hope that every day that we talk about safety with y'all, and that we continue to talk about the things that we want to instill in y'all. I hope that's what we want it to convey on the highway every day. And so that's our conversation today. Just to be courteous, and I think one leads to the other, and it continues to move forward. And I hope that other people are taking your example of being safe to the next level, and everybody starts to drive safe.
Yeah, courtesy is a big deal. I mean, it's a big topic, and as a professional driver, we have. I think there's two types of courtesy. There's the general courtesy that everybody should understand on the road, and then to me, there's the driver courtesy, which should exceed that, right? It's the Class A license courtesy,
right?
In the professional driver doing a little bit more than the others because of who they are and what they do. I mean, truly, they are the most experienced on the road and understand far better than most out there exactly what's going on and what needs to transpire. And I understand that sometimes it's frustrating, but I think the one thing that we continue to talk about that is important is that the one thing you can control in all of these things is your attitude. You can't control the moment. You can't control the weather. You can't control someone else. You can't control, but if you can control your attitude about it, it will demonstrate through your behavior. And I truly believe that's what we're talking about here when we talk about courtesy. You got anybody on the line that wants to talk to Hector about courtesy, common courtesy, exceptional courtesy, courtesy in which you pervade, in which you do out there on the road? It's a big deal. Courtesy is important. It is an overt act of kindness, and I truly believe that we all do it at some point. We just should all. I think it's something we should always do.
I agree. And and I will say, and I'm just going to leave this with that. We understand you guys are going to get frustrated out there. I mean, truly, I was frustrated with a bunch of people that I saw on the road doing a lot of things that I didn't exactly agree with. If you're getting to the point where you're frustrated, hey, let us know that you need to pull off and take a few minutes.
Call and yell at me.
I promise you. Yeah. Call. I mean, your DM is there. What you got for us, Big D?
Yeah, we got Jeff Marsh. What do you got for us today, sir?
What's up, Jeff?
Yeah, talking about there's a lot of times that like if I'm passing a 18 wheelers on the side of the road or something like that, I see cars that'll try to blow by that truck to pass me to get in front of me or something like that. they don't take that common courtesy like we usually do, and I see that a lot out there.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, that's the thing that we saw. I mean, guys are wanting to, it's a race, and I don't understand. I mean, you're going to say 5 minutes getting to your destination. I mean, 5 minutes is not nothing when it compares to, putting yourself into a dangerous situation. But you're 100% right. I mean, when you got a disabled truck on the side, you don't want to go blow, or anybody, a regular vehicle disabled. It's like Dave said here, guy's trying to change a tire. He's on 3 wheels. Who's to say that truck, you blow by him and the vehicle doesn't fall off the jack stand? I mean, it's not, we're putting people at danger for 5 minutes. It doesn't make any sense sometimes.
Who you got else?
Yeah, we've got Richard Rowe on the line. What do you got for
What's
us?
going on, Richard?
Hey, a phrase just kind of coming to mind on your conversation here. Courtesy. Don't expect to get it if you don't give it.
That's a good point. Very good point. You got to give it to get it. I 100% I agree there.
Thanks, Richard. It is all about wanting to do the right thing and wanting to do for other people. And sometimes, I just want everybody to know that you may do it 100 times today and not get any in return, but there'll be a moment in which you do, and it'll pay off in dividends. I truly believe that.
More than that, it's not about getting it back, because, and I get it, you want that respect back, but hey, listen, and maybe I'm just this way. I'd much rather give than take. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. You're going to be better in the long run giving. I promise you. Because, I mean, at some point, you're right. Somebody's going to give it back. But more than that, you're going to know that you are in the right, and you are going to know that you've done the right and safe thing. Not just because, it's because that's the safe thing and the right thing to do. It really is. Sometimes it's better to be the high road guy, and that's what we want you to be. We want you to be the safe high road person.
Absolutely. Kindness is a strength of character. It is not a weakness.
Exactly.
And I just want everybody to do that. Hey, Hector, let's go ahead. Why don't you give everybody a quick prayer, and let's get out of here today.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for another blessed day in your world. Thank you for everything you bestowed upon us, Lord. We continue to just thank our drivers and lift them up to you and help them to be the safest people they can on the road so that they can continue to move forward and support their families and do the things that they need to do in order to move forward. We continue to thank Rick and Brian for all they do for our company. We continue to work and tirelessly to make this company what it is. Lord, we thank you for your son who gave his life for our sins. In your holy name we pray, amen.
All right, thanks, Hector, and thanks to the Danger Rangers. Hey, y'all continue to be safe out there, continue to do the right thing, and continue to be courteous per Hector here today. As we get, hey, everybody, be safe out there. We'll see you this afternoon, 2:30.